Welcome back. Artemis II is back home. The 4 astronauts splashing down in the Pacific Friday night with a textbook return. The crew wasting no time getting back into the arms of family. Pilot Victor Glover sharing his special moment in a post on X, thanking God for a safe journey back to Earth. He got quite the warm welcome home, by the way. His neighbors, lining the streets to catch a glimpse of their hometown hero. And the messages of togetherness became a theme for Glover, sharing his gratitude for God and his reflection of this historic mission.
When this started on April 3rd, I wanted to thank God in public, and I want to thank God again, because even bigger than my challenge trying to describe what we went through, the gratitude of seeing what we saw, doing what we did, and being with who I was with, it's too big to just be in one body.
And there was also this sweet moment, which is going viral. It's showing Glover sharing a hug with Rachel Campos Duffy and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy's daughter, Valentina. A perfect snapshot of him in dad mode.
Thanks for taking the picture with me.
Say thank you, Valentina. Can you say thank you?
I need it. Am I getting a hug? Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Rachel.
She's going out.
She's coming with us. All right. We found our backup crew member here.
Joining me now is the proud father of Artemis II, pilot Victor Glover. It's Victor Glover Sr. Mr. Glover, it's good to have you on the program. I see that smile on your face watching your son.
Yeah, that's how he impacts me, and that's how he impacts a lot of people.
I don't want to. I've already used the word once, and I imagine I will use the word several times. I am a father. Of course, I had a father. It's hard to overstate the emotion of pride wrapped up in fatherhood, but you must feel so proud. Yeah,
and I think, as I've said before, that the word proud just doesn't capture it. It's so huge and so significant. The love I have for my son and for all of my family. Proud just doesn't do it justice. As they launched on this mission, I kind of said that my chest was already out to the moon before they ever even got there.
Yeah.
And it's still out there even after they've made it back safely. And the safely part is what was most important.
Of course. Your son's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot. This isn't the first time he's put himself in danger, in harm's way, in service of this great country. So I'm sure you've become somewhat conditioned, but you're still a father. So how nervous were you during this mission?
I was extremely nervous. With his line of work and the things that he does, you never get conditioned to it. You just hope and pray for the safety of him and whoever he may be working with at the time, and in this case, with the rest of the Artemis II crew. And for me, it was the coming home part that I think was the most nerve-wracking, the re-entry back into the atmosphere, which is can be the most challenging part of the entire mission. And so, yeah, I had the nerves going, but still proud and happy and obviously saying my prayers as they were coming home.
What was Victor like as a child?
He was very playful, but very inquisitive. He always wanted to know about things and how they were put together and how you could take them apart and how could he put them back together again. One of the reasons he ultimately ended up majoring in engineering in college, when he told me as he headed off to college that I'm going to build something that changes the world. And that was the type of child he was, but very athletic, very outgoing, very personable, still very much what you see in him today.
Well, that explains his analytical mind, Mr. Glover. I will have to tell you, I don't think it's just my personal observation, but it is my personal observation. I'm sure there are many watching who agree as well. Your son isn't just smart, he is something else as well. He's not just smart, he's not just brave. He seems, from afar, when I listen to him speak, full of wisdom. And I think that's a rarer commodity than intelligence. Whether or not he's talking about his faith in God, whether or not he's talking about race, He seems to have a real strong grounding in wisdom. Where did that come from? That come from you? Where did he gain this wisdom?
Well, I think as parents, we set the foundation for those types of things in our children, and I think it also goes towards the learning that they absorb as they're growing up. He was a voracious reader. He is still very much a voracious reader today, and I think that's where a lot of that wisdom comes from. And as you can tell, he doesn't hesitate to impart that on the masses and let them know how he feels, and he speaks from his heart regularly, and in doing so, he tends to touch a lot of people in the process.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job on this mission, with that mission. Victor Glover Sr., thank you so much for being with us here today. Congratulations.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.